This is February 10th, 2015. Welcome to the OnFire show on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2. Welcome. And I'm Neil Schloss. They're actually testing me out tonight as the host. And who's my co-host today?
Joe Ciano.
Joe, welcome.
Still in the co-host chair.
Yes. Hopefully for a long time.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Listen, if you ever want to try the seat, you're more than welcome.
All right, man.
So we're excited. There was a lot going on in the news this week, of course.
Fearless Leader's gone for us tonight, but maybe we'll be back next week.
Yeah. I actually in the chat room, which is an important part of the show. If you want to join the chat room, go to HamiltonRadio.net, click on the chat room, and then you'll see three faces: Daryl, myself, and Joe. You click on that, and you'll join our chat room as a guest. But, of course, we're always looking to see you register and join the chat room with your name. So, Steve from Virginia, welcome, Steve. I love to see that you're joining the conversation. But, of course, in the news, Obama's administration will not release the IRS targeting documents. What do you think about that, Joe?
And why would they?
Why would they?
Why would they?
I mean, the question becomes, should they, or under the laws, do they have to?
Well, this is supposedly our country. They are supposedly our employees. They should supposedly be doing what we want and what we need. But it doesn't quite work that way. It kind of works that what?
Did they supersede us and took the powers over?
Somehow they did. Yeah, somehow that seemed to happen. And it seems that the purpose of the government is to protect and defend the people who are in the government itself.
Yeah, well, it's been an interesting time. I mean, I've been a CPA for 22 years now. I did auditing when I first graduated, and, of course, auditing is something ingrained in me. I mean, it was a test I had to take when I graduated to pass the CPA exam. And then, of course, you have to do 2 years working for a public firm where you learn how to audit others and just test to make sure that things seem kosher.
Right.
You know what kosher is, Joe?
Yes, it has to do with the Jewish dietary laws, and we'll have Rabbi Teitelbaum on here who could tell us about that, although that really wasn't what he was expecting to talk about.
Hey, you never know where the conversation is going to go on this show, as you know.
Let me ask you, Neil, do you slaughter your chickens in the kosher way?
I don't know if Fred is listening, my chicken man. Please let me know if the way I did it was a kosher methodology, because I don't know the methods that would have to be done to make it kosher versus non-kosher.
Well, we could ask the rabbi that. I think it's all written in the book of Leviticus, too.
I mean, it's a matter of, like, being slaughtered in a place that has cheese in it?
You can't have cheese.
They can't mix the meat and the cheese, right?
No. And you have to drain all the blood afterwards. I think you have to cut the neck, drain the blood. There's a lot in there. Since I've never slaughtered a chicken, I didn't really feel I needed to pay too much attention to that area of Scripture, because I wasn't going to be doing it. But now.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't grow up kosher. My dad actually did. So I kind of have some idea of how it worked. I think it's just simply separate plates, separate kitchens.
But you have to have things. The food also needs to be, I think, blessed by the rabbi as well at some point.
When I was in probably a few years out of college, I was at an accounting firm, and I had to do some work at Cohen's. Mm-hmm. You know Cohen's Foods?
Okay, no, I was thinking Cohen's Fashion Optical.
No, Cohen's kosher foods are like the appetizers.
Uh-huh.
You buy them, you stick them in. And they had a kosher rabbi there that had to certify everything. Mm-hmm. I was there to just do computer work, but I had the experience of going to a kosher place of where they make the food. Actually, it was in Newark, New Jersey, mm-hmm. I think it's the warehouse district where they were. So actually worked with them.
You look on the packages, you know, if it says as the K, that's one level of kosher, which is good enough for, I think, for Reform Jews and maybe the conservatives. And then there's the OU, which is the Union of Orthodox Rabbis,
right?
Which is, that's like the official professional size and weight model.
Yeah, no. So I have some experience with my father being kosher. So I think my mom put her foot down when it came to our family and said, no, we're not going to be kosher. We're growing up in a community that's diverse. We're growing up. Actually, I grew up in Edison, New Jersey. Basically, the center. I felt that was the center of New Jersey. Metuchen was the munchkin inside the donut. If you're from Edison, you understand that. which is Edison Circle's Metuchen. Metuchen was in the middle, and grew up there. Metuchen Fair was every year. Something I look forward to. I don't know if you guys, anyone who's listening, is familiar with Metuchen. Do you know there's a famous guy from Metuchen?
No.
David Copperfield. Yeah. As a young kid, he would do the magic shows at the Metuchen Fair.
The publisher or the writer or the musician?
What's that?
The magician.
The magician.
Oh, yeah. I went to go see one of his live shows.
Yeah, so did I. It was awesome. He is an awesome magician. I mean, inspired many. He actually did I think my first birthday was David Copperfield. My sister was 5 years old, and my mom hired David Copperfield to do the birthday.
Oh, really? Before he became famous?
Before he became famous, yeah.
Really?
He was this young kid. He was a teenager doing shows like that I now have. I have a magic store where I have birthday parties.
Oh, I got his. Yeah, I was able to get his autograph while he was performing in Philadelphia.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I stayed after the show performance.
And this is Ruben. This is the sound man. He's the owner. He's everything. He runs everything behind the scenes. So
that's me. I'm just filling in to give him conversational.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No.
So Ruben's here to test me out. So hopefully at the end of the show, guys, I'll get an A+ or need for improvement.
That's okay. I don't judge no one.
But this, to jump back to the auditing side that I did. The chat room, of course, there's a big thing that Ron Paul had. He runs it every year. When he was in Congress, he would always, the first bill he'd always introduce would be a bill called Auditing the Fed. And from the time I knew him till the time, like when I was introduced to him, he talked about this Audit the Fed concept. And it was sort of the momentum of Congress to understand that the Federal Reserve is a private entity that ultimately controls us in the way it has the power over us with money. It creates the money out of thin air. It creates the money out of thin air, and then the United States borrows that money. That's why we borrow on the faith and credit of the United States. That's a constitutional idea. And so anyway, Ron Paul had presented this Audit the Fed bill. It would get a lot of co-sponsors in the House, but would never get the sponsors in the Senate. So it would never pass the House. And it became a big thing that actually is now in both House and Senate, right?
Right. Now his son Rand has picked up the charge on that one and wants to move forward that. And you're seeing the Fed officers and a lot of other people are now lining up to attack him on this because they think that it could actually, with a Republican majority in both houses, this could actually happen, and they're really getting their hackles up there.
Well, so the question becomes, what will happen if it passes the House and the Senate? Will the president sign the bill?
Well, hopefully he won't, because staying with Rand. A lot of people are saying. But speaking on the financing, did you guys hear about Russia in Cairo?
I did not. What's going on over there?
They're doing a bilateral trade, and they want to stop the U.S. dollar for ever trading between them two. Putin and the Cairo president, I forgot his name, they're doing a bilateral finance trade agreement, and they're actually putting funding in to build a new Suez Canal to do a better linking between Egypt and Russia, so the United States will have there'll be no foreign
presence or something?
Right, no foreign presence of any money or anything trade within those two governments.
Wow.
They're going to actually Putin. I didn't realize this, but as of August 7th of this year, they put a ban on any imports from the U.S., Netherlands, the European Union, Australia, and I think China. I'm not sure for China, but it was a big news debate that they're going to stop trading with the U.S. dollar, and that's what brings back the BRICS.
It's an interesting concept because I grew up in the era that Russia was our big enemy. From a nuclear standpoint, right? Like they were going to press the bomb. The bomb was going to happen the next day. So it was one where they were the enemy in my mind growing up. And I was lucky enough to go to Russia in 2003. I flew to Kamchatka, which is the far east of Russia. It's the most remote place you can be in from the capital. So they still have statues of Stalin and Lenin, and they have the hammer and sickle hanging out all over the place. And they were the nicest people I've ever met. Most giving, most caring. And at the same time, I mean, I definitely, since coming home from there, you can easily hear someone who has a Russian accent.
Right.
So, of course, I can start the conversation by asking in a Russian term, how are you? Hello. And it's cool because once you start to meet people from that country, you listen to how they grew up, what they experienced, and it's essentially the escape from Russia to come to America, to come to that land of opportunity.
Right.
And I mean, it's funny because now I speak to them and I say, so what do you think? I mean, we're 2015. We had Obama in office for a while now. I mean, he is the culmination of the mess. I don't like to put blame on one person.
Right.
I think Bush had his problems. Carter had his problems. Reagan had his problems. I mean, they all had their problems because power. Once you have power, I mean, I would say power corrupts.
Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Lord Acton said that.
I'm gonna say this outright. I truly believe these governments are tired of European and Western involvement in their foreign affairs, and there's a lot of lies and misjudgments that we are told in the American people. You know, like, for instance, we're told not to go to Africa or anything else like that, but Africa is going to be like the next United States. China's invested over $400 billion in a new rail system there in Ethiopia alone.
Yeah, and I met people from South Africa.
Yeah.
Actually, on the cruise, on the Disney cruise. Disney hires a lot of people from South Africa.
Right.
And these people are amazing. I mean, and it's funny because I saw a video by a guy named Michael Tellinger. He's a South African who's suing the Bank of South Africa, and I think he's also suing the country of South Africa over the fraudulent way they've created their monetary system.
Right.
So it's an interesting video you can watch on him. But then, of course, he goes to a side of his, like, about nature and the love for nature, and I mean, we should all live free. And he created a party, a quote party in the political system called the Ubuntu. I think it's Ubunta, Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
How do you spell it?
Ubuntu. You're right.
Ubuntu. And it's a philosophy that is mind-blowing that you can live free. I mean, and it's basically value for value. It's the concept of John Galt again.
Right.
The paper that we have is worthless in my mind at this point.
Oh, yeah. All the paper monetary is worthless, and I think that's why, you know, these other continents and countries are forming their own. Basically, they're saying that we don't need U.S. involvement. Now, it's not the people's fault. You know, it's our government's fault that, you know, the way situations have come about. Now, I'm not saying everyone in the government's bad or evil, you know, but unfortunately the ones that weighs the, we call it weighs and balances.
Yeah, and just to jump in here, if you're enjoying the conversation, we have the chat room going. The Chicken Man has joined. Steve from Virginia. We got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guests now are joining. If you like the conversation, join the chat room. But, of course, if you have a comment that you want to call in on, call in at 609-800-1003. Steve from Virginia, I'd love to hear your voice. I love that you're on the chat room. So pick up the phone, call 609-800-1003. And I don't know when we go to a commercial break, but
no, not yet.
We got some time? Cool. Now, of course, our guest coming on in a few minutes will be Glen Kelly. Glen Kelly is a real estate agent. I will give Glen, if Glen doesn't call in, I will call you, Glen, if you're listening, which I think you are. Glen is one of the largest real estate agents down the shore.
In South Jersey.
In South Jersey. So he's down by the shore region, and he is pretty involved with giving back to the community. And I think he is going to be someone you will enjoy because he is putting together probably something that my brother and I are so excited about, which is bringing back the old wrestlers from professional wrestlers, not the amateur wrestlers, because there is a big difference.
And actually, not only the wrestler, you could probably engage them on the side of how the market is going in the real estate market.
Sure. No, I'd love to know what his thoughts are on the market down there.
From 2008 to the present day.
Yeah.
And also, is it true that there are a lot of New Jerseyans migrating out of New Jersey?
People are leaving because it feels like they're forcing you out. I mean, we had a police force that just wants to keep taking money from your pockets by ticketing. You have government that wants to, towns that have ordinances up the wazoo that if you sneeze the wrong way,
you get a ticket.
You're going to get a ticket or quote, you're going to get the fine. There was a politician, and unfortunately, I could not remember if it was a federal thing or a state thing, but it was something so ridiculous of just someone doing something that they choose to do different from what he thinks and says if he continues to do this, we will fine him $5,000 for the first offense, $10,000 for the second offense.
Actually, and I hate to blow my own home way, but New Jersey, New York, California, and I think Alabama were voted one of the worst states to live in, and New Jersey was second to the last of the 48 chosen to be the most unfree state in the country.
No, I was just at a meeting in Delaware today, and they were talking about labor laws and the things that are coming out. And as liberal as that state is, somebody actually referred to us as the People's Republic of New Jersey.
Really?
On the other side of the river, yeah.
You know who they said that the most freest state is in this whole country?
What's that?
South Dakota.
South Dakota. I was in South. That's a beautiful state, man.
They said they have so many. Their regulations are so low and so less.
Well, South Dakota.
Where everybody lives like 10 miles apart from the next
I know,
person.
Right?
South Dakota. Have you ever been to Wall Drug?
No, I've been to North Dakota. But
all right, so just a quick story of South Dakota. We drove 4 of us from college in a conversion van from New Jersey to Seattle, down to Tijuana, and back across. And part of it was going through South Dakota. So there was my friend Mark Baskin. I mean, he researched every stupid thing you could ever think of, like places like the biggest yarn ball.
Oh yeah.
The geographical center of the United States. The geographical center of the continental United States, because there are 2 different locations. Of course, you have Alaska, not included in Hawaii.
Right.
We had the geographic center of from Hawaii to Maine, like where that was.
Okay.
The largest dinosaur.
Oh, okay.
So in Wall Drug, there's the largest dinosaur.
Oh, really?
When you pull into Wall Drug, there's a massive dinosaur. And, of course, for miles and miles crossing over South Dakota, there's signs everywhere. And every sign says, free ice water at Wall Drug.
Really?
Biggest dinosaur in Wall Drug. Buffalo burgers in Wall Drug. And it just repeated over and over and over. That by halfway there, you're like, I got to go to Wall Drug to check it out. So I have been to Wall Drug. Yeah. So anyway, there are questions from the chat room. Of course, John Galt's being asked the question, so should we audit the Fed?
Should we audit the Fed? Of course we should audit the Fed, because it's a quasi-government organization, and it controls the monetary policy of our country. The argument, and that is being made by the Fed governors, is that the Congress will politicize the Fed. The problem is that I see is that neither the Congress nor the federal government should be controlling the monetary policy of the country. Money is a commodity that people use to exchange things. We should get rid of the fiat currency that they create, go back to a competitive currency system where people could make deals on whatever they want, get rid of the legal tender laws, and then no one's setting the policy except for the market. To me, it's a matter of power. But, this all goes back to our original discussion, Neil, of Obama. Yep.
And we actually have a guest calling in. Hello, guest. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, my son? Glen Kelly.
Glen Kelly, welcome to the show. I don't know if you we're talking about auditing the Fed, Glenn. So if you want to hold on while we finish up that discussion, we'll jump into questions that we have for you, of course, on the stuff that you're doing down the shore, how the market's doing down there. So if you give
Not a problem, my friend. Continue. Go ahead. Not a problem.
All right. So,
but just finishing that thought, where this whole thing started, Neil, was with you saying, should Obama administration release the documents on the IRS targeting of the various groups? And I would say yes, but that's not the way the game's played. Since I've been following this stuff, we were trying to get all the records from what Nixon was saying. We tried to get Oliver North and President Bush to on the guns for, the guns for hostage. All these different things. The government is basically in business to sustain and to support itself, and it's going to be that way until people divorce themselves from this government and say, I can live my own life and I can lead my own life without you guys.
Yeah, well, auditing the Fed's a great idea. I mean, of course, as a CPA, I would say 100% support of auditing any entity, any government agency. I mean, that's something that is the right of the people. I mean, the people have that power. The people are the creators. And, of course, we go to individualism all the time. I mean, and this is, to me, besides auditing the Fed, my suggestion would be audit the government.
Right. Well, here's where it goes. The Fed is crony capitalism to the end. Because on one hand, they'll say, well, it's not a government agency. It's a private corporation and a union of all the banks, the major banks in America who belong to this. So it's not really a government organization. Okay, then it's something that operates outside and above the law.
I agree with you. I say four things, and I'm going to go back to my seat. I want to say, all right, 1, audit the government. 2, audit the Fed. 3, close the Fed. 4, do like Iceland did.
Nice. And we're going to go to commercial break at this time. If you'd like to call in, you are welcome to call in. Glen Kelly is on the guest line, and, of course, we have a second line for callers to call in. So if you want to join the conversation, we'd love to have you. The call-in number is 609-800-1003. This is the OnFire Show. It's on HamiltonRadio.net. We will be right back. We'll be right back. This is the OnFire Show on HamiltonRadio.net.
You're listening to New Jersey's number one internet radio station. Hamilton Radio. Hamilton Radio.
Meet Glen Kelly.
You can see there are hardwood floors throughout the home. Is that Glen Kelly? Hey, Glen!
Glen is broker of record of Glen Kelly Real Estate. Glen's experience and determination makes him a top-producing realtor year after year. Whether residential or commercial, buying or selling, there's no one like Glen Kelly.
I'm Glen Kelly, and I want to be your realtor.
The warning signs.
At first, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me. About my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right. Then I realized that I have the power, and there is an alternative.
Stop the cycle of political abuse. Vote Libertarian. Find out more at lp.org.
Are you feeling sluggish by lunch, or is lunch you had making you feel sluggish? Do you play sports and need that extra push during the game? Are you a college student and need to stay up late to do those reports? Well, why not try Rebound FX by Longevity? Nowadays, you not only need a sports drink to provide you with quick, sustained energy, but you also need a drink that will supply you with the essential nutrients that need to be replenished to support an overall healthy body. Unlike other sports drinks, Rebound FX is a high-energy drink that offers a balance of antioxidants, natural herbs, and important minerals, including Longevity's plant-derived minerals blend. Rebound FX is rich in nutrients and antioxidants such as vitamins A, C, and E. It also contains high doses of essential B vitamins. And don't forget the Rebound FX Sports Energy Collection. Make sure that you're always equipped with fuel for exercise, long days at work, or any other activity requiring sustained energy. Rebound FX comes in a variety of blends to best suit your needs. You can keep some Rebound FX stick packs in your gym bag or purse while on the go, and cans or liquid supplements stored in your fridge. Rebound FX will always be at the palm of your hands for a natural energy boost. And don't forget, Rebound FX is more than just a sports drink, it's absolute performance. So purchase your Rebound right now on HamiltonRadio.net and click on Longevity's banner. When you purchase your Rebound, don't forget to buy some for your family, your friends, your teammates, and so on. Remember, Rebound is for everyone.
Welcome back to the OnFire Show on HamiltonRadio.net.
A new advanced gym just opened right here in Hamilton, New Jersey. Primal Gym, New Jersey. They feature martial arts, combat sports, youth programs, strength and fitness, and private intense training. Primal Gym. Learn how to protect yourself in self-defense. Primal Gym is located at 2103 White Horse Mercerville Road, Hamilton, New Jersey, 08619. Again, that's 2103 White Horse Mercerville Road, Hamilton, New Jersey, 08619. Call them at 609-736-2307. Again, that's Primal Gym, New Jersey, PRIMALGYMNJ.com. Training everyday people to be champions.
We're back. This is the OnFire Show on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2. Welcome back to our show. We have a great guest who just called in. He's going to introduce himself, but I will quickly just give his name out. Glen Kelly. He is a real estate broker down the shore. So, Glen, welcome to the show.
Hey, my friends. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Glen.
Okay, my name is Glen Kelly. I'm the broker of record of Glen Kelly Real Estate. We're actually licensed to do business in the entire state of New Jersey, but we do focus primarily on Ocean and Monmouth County. Every year, for me, something that's been important is always giving back. So every year we do a charity event. And this particular year is one that we're really proud of. It's coming up on June 13th. That particular event is going to feature an array of talent that's coming out thanks to myself and my company. And it's going to benefit Eternal Tranquility, which is a New Jersey organization founded on the principles and the beliefs of humanity being one single family. They do that through yoga, meditation, holistic nutrition, relaxation techniques, basically supporting addiction and recovery problems and providing sort of like a support group for everyone within that family. Anyone can join. Anyone can take advantage of Eternal Tranquility. They're dedicated to promoting pretty much the mind, body, and spirit together. And if anyone's been listening to the news, you got alcohol and drug issues all over the place. And it just seems to be like this particular charity event this year is on point, whether it's going to make a difference in your life or someone in your loved one's lives. It's going to be an amazing event. The event itself is going to be held at the Aztec in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. There's going to be two portions. There's a public event that is noon to 4 p.m., which may carry over to 5 p.m. We do expect a very, very large crowd for this event. And then we'll have a private event, and that's by invite only, and that's from 6 to 9 p.m. It'll be held at the same location. The superstars that are coming out, when I say superstars, we're generally, by far, first of all, Glen Kelly Real Estate is the only real estate company that pretty much integrates themselves with celebrities that are internationally known. So when I originally found
Glen, sorry to jump in. Are you allowed to disclose these celebrities that you have sold to or not?
Absolutely, my friend, absolutely. As a matter of fact, with this particular charity event, we have international celebrities that are coming out, such as Olympic gold medalist. He's still on TV till date, Kurt Angle. You have
Kurt
Rita.
Angle, baby. Loved Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle's amazing. What a great guy. For him to come out, his colors are red, white, and blue, just like Glen Kelly Real Estate colors, red, white, and blue. It's going to be an amazing
just like our show.
Kurt Angle show up at our event.
Just like our show. We're red, white, and blue also.
Actually, I know. Me and Daryl were going hand in hand on it. I know all about it. The other special guests to appear are Lita, a.k.a. Amy Dumas.
Glenn, I have a caller calling in. Hold on one second. Let me grab line 2. Try this out. Welcome, caller.
Where's Gino tonight?
I'm right here.
Well, is that Glenn on the radio? He talks like he's going to sleep. Get him off the air. Let me tell him what he's doing. He don't even know what he's doing. Is he out of his mind?
Who is this?
Who's calling? This is Conspiracy Bob, king of all reality here in New Jersey. Put me on the air. This guy don't even know what he's talking about. Can we do a three-way? I'll have him crack it up.
You're on the air, Conspiracy Bob.
Conspiracy Bob, my friend. How are you?
Hey, Bob, turn down your radio.
Turn down your radio, Bob.
Hold on, let me hear myself for a second. So let me tell everyone who's really coming to Seaside. Hold on. Let me finish off because I can hear you. I can hear me still. I'm not on yet. Hold on.
Wait, is this show going way off the rails or something going on?
Are you ready? All right, here we go. All right, let me explain what's going to happen at Seaside. Glen Kelly is the multi-million-dollar realtor. He is the premier realtor here in the state of New Jersey, going worldwide. The brand name will go worldwide. We got Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle, a 12-time champion. We got Jimmy Superfly Snuka coming down, who's a 35-time champion. We got Jim Hacksaw Dugan coming down. We got Tito Santana. We got the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase. I can give you a little preview about him. We also have 2 divas coming down. I mean, the place is going to be packed. Mick Foley's going to be there, Mankind. We're expecting, hundreds, if not, there's going to be thousands of people there. It will be the biggest event ever in the history of Seaside, New Jersey. GlenKelly.com, doing it all for charity. #1 here in the state of New Jersey. Go ahead, Glenn. That's how you got to talk, kid. Go ahead.
Now, if that's not a promotion, I don't know what is, all right?
You would think that me and Conspiracy Bob are friends. I said you did a great job, Conspiracy Bob. You're not the Glen Kelly, but you're pretty damn close. I'll tell you that, my friend.
And nobody's Glen Kelly, but last year we just had the $1 million man there. The place was packed. So Jimmy Fly, Snuka, the whole crew with Mankind. What a show! There's got to be thousands of people going to come to this event, and hopefully it'll be no chemtrails that day. That's what I'm really worried about. Hopefully we'll have a clear sky, right, Gino?
That's right. That's right. That is right, man. Hey,
go ahead.
I got other wrestlers I'd love to see. Bob Backlund.
Oh, yeah, back in the day. Hey, I was hoping we can get George the Animal Steel, but, he cured Crohn's disease on his own. He's the only one ever to do it. He claims he did it all naturally, all organic. He was a superstar back in the day, and Roddy Piper. But look, he got everybody there. He still might get other stars. Because you could never say it's over when, you're talking about Glen Kelly. He'll come up with something you won't believe it. Guy's unbelievable. And if you're buying or selling, you definitely want to go to GlenKelly.com, and that's 100%.
Yeah,
one of my biggest supporters. I appreciate it, my friend.
And we're fixing that overmodulation if you're hearing that out there. So. All right, so
I'll let Glenn take over from here. I appreciate you letting me come on, and I'll be in touch. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Good luck, Glenn. Take care, pal.
Thank you very much for the vote of confidence, my friend. It was an amazing pitch. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Bob.
You didn't see nothing yet. Wait a minute. Let me give you a little preview how it's going to go. Because when these guys come into Seaside, you're going to hear me go like the $1 million man. Go ahead.
Hey, Bob, I was going to tell you, on the 21st, George Animal Still will be right here on HamiltonRadio.net on Saturday, February 21st at 8 p.m. on No Hills Bar.
Awesome. Oh, he's coming on the air on the 21st?
Yeah, the 21st.
21st? Okay. Maybe I can call him and ask him to call GlenKelly.com and see if he can come down. Because if you get the animal down there, that'll be the #1 draw. Right now, I believe it's Snuka. I see Jimmy Superfly Snooker #1. I don't know if Mankind's up there. $1 Million Man might have been a bit bigger draw even than Kurt Angle, but it's close. You know, you got those 2-3 guys right up there, but I think Jimmy Superfly Snooker is the biggest draw.
I mean, if Andre the Giant was still around, he'd be the draw. Andre was. I loved Andre.
Andre was great.
Would definitely do the draw.
I saw some great matches in Highland Park when I was a kid. My dad used to take me there. It was, I think, George Policastro was in charge of it, and he put these events together. It was that WWE wrestling matches. We also saw one at J.P. Stevens in Edison. I got to see Superfly Snooker at the 7-Eleven buying coffee after the match, and it was, I mean, a moment for us as kids who loved these professional wrestlers. I mean, we looked forward to watching it every weekend. So I'm glad. I'm pretty psyched about these people, celebrities you have coming down. Who can you name some other ones that are coming down?
Yeah, let me just give you the full rundown on there. I know Bob sort of jumped in the mix there, and I appreciate it, Bob, my friend. But we do.
All right, give the whole rundown.
You hold on a minute there, Bob, because it's going to be Glen Kelly live in a steel cage match, and that's going to be the Eternal Tranquility, baby. You got Kurt Angle, you got Lita, you got Mick Foley, you got Sonny, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, coming back for a second appearance. He had such a great time. Even Bob could confirm with that last year. It was amazing. You got Jake the Snake Roberts, a legend. It's just a legend. You got Hacksaw Duggan, Tatanka, Tito Santana, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and Men on a Mission. And we haven't even touched. That's the icing on the cake for what Glen Kelly has in store for everyone on June 13th. It's going to be off the hook. It's going to be the most amazing event, not only just because it's a charity event, but it's going to be one of the best events we ever put on.
Hey, now, Glenn, so you talk about eternal tranquility, about the mind, spirit, and body. Like, what made you get to that point in life? Were you always like that growing up or not?
Tell you what, you sell a couple of $500,000 houses, you're going to be like that in 2 seconds. But I believe I tell you right, I know a lot about it, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I love it.
I know a lot about what you're going to say.
Pinnacle. When you reach a certain pinnacle point in your life, that's when you really start to see how important the charity side is of your life, and also this whole holistic approach to life is. Before I even went into real estate, I went to medical school. And then, and I'm talking, I did so many hours and rotations in med school. I bought and sold my first house. I had to be 20 years old. Now, of course, it was a different market at the time. And I made so much money on that flip, I asked myself, I said, wait a minute, I'm doing 7 days a week here on rotations. Possibly when you pass medical school, you might make at that time, $45,000 a year. And I'm saying to myself, you can make so much money in real estate, which is what I did over the course of since being, thankfully 20 years old when I made my first investment. But I tell you what, it certainly wasn't easy. When I left my house, I am that true story. Having a couple of nickels to rub together and through hard work and dedication, perseverance, it paid off. Now I own my own real estate company, one of the largest in New Jersey. And we are capitalizing on that, and our product is getting out there. And I tell you, when you reach a certain point in life, that's when you realize how important it is to give back to the community. And this Eternal Tranquility is going to be off the wall. This charity event is going to supersede anything we've done before. And we've done all the big ones. You're not going to see the yellow signs, the green and blue signs, forking out the money to get international recording artists Fuel, to get international recording artists Hoobastank. You just don't see it. And now with all these guys coming and whatnot, you just don't see it. Glen Kelly Real Estate brands with the biggest talent internationally. And that's why you take a look at our social media stats. When you look at our social media stats compared to our competitors, they don't even come into a close second. You take an international red-signed company, and you take a look at them, and they have 16,000 likes, so 16,000 people are going to see a post from them in their feed on any social media. We have close to, when you take Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, whether it's personal plus business, over 1 million followers. Why? Because we brand ourselves with each of these gentlemen. And the talent is just amazing. That's just why. When you're buying and selling in New Jersey, There's one, only one, Bob. Glen Kelly Real Estate.
That's it, GlenKelly.com. There's no doubt about it. And I'll tell you what, I know Glen's always looking for real estate agents to hop aboard. It would be the best thing you ever did if you never started from making the right decision. That would definitely be the right decision. But I think a real estate channel, which I don't think anyone has, maybe you and one of the owners down there could sit down and talk about that, to have your own real estate channel online. Do your own radio show right here. The Great Hamilton Radio.
I'm in.
Well, I might have to get in touch with Gino and put that together, baby.
I'm in for the Conspiracy Bob show, too. I'm in.
I heard that, Glenn.
That's good, yeah. Can't wait for the event. It will be spectacular. You'll have to learn, there's so many people, because the amount of people that are going to be down there for this event, and I'm in Tom's River. I know what goes on down there. Nothing like this. This is going to be epic. I mean, we were trying to figure out, can there be 10,000 people for this event? I mean, what they get to see these wrestlers come in the ring, we've got till June, and I'm sure Glenn got some stuff up his sleeve, so we'll see what happens.
Hey, Glenn, a question, of course, came in from the chat room. Chat room is always up and running during the show. If you want to join the chat room, go to hamiltonradio.net, click on the chat room. You can find the OnFire show button. Click on that, and you'll be in our show as a guest. If you want to register, please click on register. Ruben here, of course, will approve you, and you can come in with a username. It doesn't have to be your real name. We have the Chicken Man currently in the chat room, and, of course, Steve from Virginia. We have other guests. But, Glenn, one of the questions is about interest rates. When interest rates rise, we want to know what you see happening to the real estate values. Any thoughts on that, Glenn?
Yeah, typically speaking, when you see interest rates take a rise, you're going to see a fall in the amount of people that are going to be able to purchase real estate. So you're going to see a decline.
And then, from that, do you think, what do you think the Federal Reserve should do with interest rates right now, being that it's pretty much, they're almost about to be paying everyone to own a house?
Pretty much, I think they're going to stay stable. I think they've currently stayed stable, and they haven't been making a move on anything ever since Bernarkin was in there. I think that whole period for the past couple of years has been a joke. And now that I see a little stabilization, especially when you talk about our markets, you talk about New Jersey, and you look at the Jersey Shore area, right now everything is stabilizing. We are seeing less inventory. We're seeing incredible interest rates on 15 and 30-year rate mortgages. So I think we're going to see relatively shortly in the next couple of years. Right now we'll see a stabilization point, maybe for a year or so, and then probably 2 to 3 years from now we may actually see an appreciation rate where we might see something actually happen where us investors could actually finally breathe a sigh of relief.
I mean, do you think people should be going with a 3-year ARM, 5-year ARM, 7-year ARM, or lock in a 30?
Yeah, I always tell my clients, I think it's best if you got a decent credit score and you can get a 30-year fixed rate and the rate's not too far off from an ARM, take the 30-year. For the difference of, hey, listen, if it's a flip property and you're gonna sell it within a year, hey, more power to you. Take the adjustable ARM, get the cheaper rate. But if you're going to go in for the long term, maybe you're going to buy something, whether it's an investment or you're going to live in there, you're going to be there long term, take the 30-year fixed. Don't have to worry about refinancing out and spending more money to refinance at a later point in time.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I'm concerned about is that being that the printing presses of the Fed just keep going and going. I mean, I think it's just the real estate environment is one that is a good way to feed that money into the system. So there's two folds to it. One, of course, the value of that dollar is declining because your purchasing power reduces when there's more money out there. So that is a concern for some people. Of course, guest 65463 said end the Fed. I mean, they enabled the fiasco of the housing markets. I mean, do you think do you think you have a prediction of when housing market's going to take a dive again, Glenn? If there is going to be one?
Well, I'm actually betting that there's not going to be one. I think we've continued to see a decline for years now. We're at a stabilization point, a very, very good one. And if I was the predictor, I would say, hey, listen, 18 years in the game, buying and flipping properties and whatnot, making my money in real estate, I would say that we're going to see an appreciation, not a decline. Not going to happen tomorrow. We see a stabilizing point right now. In the next couple of years, I think we're actually going to see an appreciation point.
Oh, that's a great. I just want to say, whoever just signed up for the Hamilton Radio chat room for the OnFire show, you are now activated. So you may sign in and join in the chat room with your username. And also, before we go to break, I want to make this one special announcement for children that's happening in April. One of our other hosts, Sunday Worship and Talk with Art and John, is called Stand Up for Children at www.we-stand-up.org. It's going to be Saturday, April 25th, 2015. Live music appearances by Joe Antonelli, Mark Morgan, Eddie Mann, Kim Martin, Right to Become, Think of Three, Romans Road, Silhouette Song, 288, Wings of Glory, Descendants of Noah, Under the Sun, Dana Isles, and Face Down. So those of you who are Christians or want to be looking to become a Christian in faith, or you like to go out and help these kids, you can go to the Freedom Biker Church, and that's 22 Parkway Circle, Newcastle, Delaware. And this is where the event will be held at. Held at.
Is that where the Christians go to hold up people to this event?
No,
Come on, Ruben.
The bikers are going to go hold up the Christians.
So you're going to go to www.we-stand-up.org. And again, that's Saturday, April 25th, 2015. They'll appreciate your support for Stand Up for Children.
And we're going to be right back with, again, continuing our conversation with Glen Kelly. Of course, if you want to check out Glen Kelly's website, it's www.glenkelly.com. That's GLEN1NKELLY.com. You can also reach him at 732-244-0567. And if you'd like to call into our show to ask Glen some questions, and our guest coming up after that's going to be who, Joe?
Israel Teitelbaum, who is very active and very forceful school choice champion here in New Jersey, and we did just get a hold of him. He's aware of the new phone number now. So, and last week was School Choice Week, so this is very timely.
So we're looking forward to that. So please call in at 609-800-1003. This is the On Fire Show on HamiltonRadio.net. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. This is the On Fire Show on HamiltonRadio.net.
Over 500,000 American men are in prison today for nonviolent crimes. Many billions of your tax dollars are spent to keep them there. If this is not your idea of how to support the American family, you just might be a libertarian. To find out, call 1-800-ELECT-US and ask for a free information packet. That's 1-800-ELECT-US. The information is free. Your freedom is priceless.
NJLP.org is a libertarian party that's for liberty and freedom. To learn more about the New Jersey Libertarian Party and join the fight for liberty, please visit NJLP.org. At NJLP.org website, you can get updated news on what NJLP.org is doing, check for upcoming events near you, and learn how you can help NJLP.org. And again, that's NJLP.org. This ad is paid for by the New Jersey Libertarian Party, the party of principle.
Everybody loves oldies.
All right.
And you'll love them even more when you listen every weekend.
Great music. I love it.
Here at Hamilton Radio.
Call Andrew Martino, Farmers Insurance, for all your insurance needs. Mr. Martino will give you the professionalism you expect from an experienced insurance agency. With Farmers Insurance, you will get the maximum coverage at competitive pricing. For a quick quote, contact Andrew Martino at 609-256-3364. 609-256-3364. Email Andrew at andrew.albright@farmersagency.com. That's ANDREW.ALBRIGHT@farmersagency.com. And Facebook, Andrew at Andrew Martino of Farmers. That's ANDREWMARTINO of Farmers. Mention this ad to Andrew to let him know you heard this right here on HamiltonRadio.net.
If you want whole foods and more natural products while making your family healthier, Visit 2285475.myforevergreen.org. That's 2285475.myforevergreen.org. Do it today.
Welcome back to the OnFire Show on HamiltonRadio.net. He's gonna have some. He was talking about his idea about the mind, spirit, and heart, and of course with the rebirth of Seaside or even the shore, because of the devastation that happened during Katrina, right?
Oh yeah.
Or Sandy.
This was Sandy.
This was Sandy.
Katrina was in New Orleans.
I can't remember the girls' names anymore. So, but I'd rather keep looking at the future. So
Sandy could be a guy too.
And Glen here is putting on an amazing event down the shore. Glen, what's the website that they can check out the event?
So if you want to check out the event, you can go to two sites. One, you can go to my site. That's glenkelly.com, GlenKelly.com, or you can go to eternaltranquility.com. If you go to Eternal Tranquility, you're going to click on Books and Events, and it will give you everything about the event. And if you go to my page, you're just going to click on the Events tab, and on that Events tab, you're going to see a whole slew of charity events. All of them are charity events that we have done since the inception of the company about 3 years ago.
And talking about different events, you say you have connections to the celebrities. What other celebrities have you had at events, and what name? Can you tell us a little bit about some of the other events you've had? I think you had the NFL National Football League charity event. So
yeah, we actually the NFL alumni sponsorship event was when Glen Kelly Real Estate put 20 local children from Ocean County into this NFL camp, and they got to meet amazing talent, whether they were NFL alumni or whether they were actually currently within the NFL. You got to see the pro players ball camp. You had like Darian Barnes, Brendan Jones, Tim Wright, Mohamed Sanyo. You had these great Damian Gregory. You had great athletes come out to High School North, play a charity football game sponsored by Glen Kelly Real Estate, and then you had the children be able to play one-on-one and get taught by the pros. At the end of the whole night, after the children had a 2-day event where we got to go to all schools and take children who might not be able to ever get a chance to be able to step on a football field with a major football player, star, an icon, so to speak, and then be able to put them through a camp. It was very humbling for myself, and everyone involved was extremely happy. I can't tell you how many calls I got from the families of the children, just about giving them the opportunity. But after that, then there was a Pros vs. Heroes football game, and Glen Kelly Real Estate sponsored that, and that was when you had Tom's River basically against the pro players on the football field, and it was a really unique event. Like, you don't see, that's one of the things I was talking about before, is you don't see things like that with other necessarily real estate companies. They don't put their money there. I put my money there, out there, to brand my company with talent that's not associated per se with real estate, like for that particular event. There was another one, we had the international band Hoobastank come perform live right here, and that was a charity for the Bayville First Aid Squad. Thousands showed up for that, and that was an amazing event. Then you had international band Fuel. They came down to the headliner. That's up there in Monmouth County. And again, that was another show sponsored by Glen Kelly Real Estate. An amazing charity event. And all these guys that we put together now for June 13th live at the Aztec is just off the hook. And like I said before, it's the icing on the cake to what we're really going to be doing there. It's going to be an amazing event. At the end of the day, on June 14th, you're going to smack yourself in the head if you're not in Seaside Heights on June 13th, because that's how big it's going to be. It's going to be an event of that magnitude. It's really going to be amazing.
Hey, if you have questions for Glen Kelly, of course, join the chat room. If you have registered, you are now activated, so please sign off and sign back into the site, and you'll get into the chat room with your name. We are, of course, excited about people joining the chat room. There's conversations going on about auditing the Fed, pay more in taxes than principal, end the Fed. They enabled the fiasco, lend the money to those who would never pay. Questions like, where did all the bailout money go? So please join in on the conversation. Glen's been a great guest so far. Like I said, we appreciate him coming on so that he can promote this. Seems like an amazing event that's going to happen down the shore.
Yeah, got to be there.
So I'm checking my calendar, and I, of course, got to clear with the family. And speaking of that, Glenn, do you have a family, or are you a bachelor?
I'm actually off the market. However, no children as of yet, but you never know what the future holds.
Well, I'll tell you, kids are awesome. I have two amazing boys, Parker and Monroe, so I could tell you the joy of children is awesome. They definitely can be a pain in the ass once in a while, but you still love them through and through.
Hey, Glenn, I was going to tell you, if you want kids, all I got to tell you is Barry White.
Well, speaking about family in general, my entire family is very, very, very intricately involved in not only the company but also the charity events, and they will all be there as well. Very, very close-knit structure of my family, and love them all, and they will be coming on June 13th to make their showing, and they do help out at every charity event. So, I mean, family is one of the biggest things that someone could have in their life.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Glenn. We're on every Tuesday night, 8:30 to 10:30 on HamiltonRadio.net. This, of course, is the OnFire show. If you're liking the show, please like us on Facebook. And what's that, Ruben? Join in the conversation, Ruben.
Join in the conversation on the Chat Room OnFire show. And if you enjoyed today's show, still listen in. And also, if you can, please leave a comment on the listener response page on HamiltonRadio.net talking about today's show on the OnFire show, and if you enjoy the OnFire show, or if you have anything the OnFire show would like to add to their show. So you can leave your message on the listener response page on HamiltonRadio.net, which is on the top right on the homepage.
So, Glenn, just if you want to say one last word before we move on to the next topic. So.
Not a problem. I just want to say thank you very much for having me on. I truly, truly appreciate it. Look for big things with Glen Kelly Real Estate, glenkelly.com, GlenKelly.com, or you can go to eternaltranquility.com. I hope to see everyone out there June 13th, live at the Aztec starting at noon. Anybody looking for buying and selling, nobody, and I repeat, nobody does it better than Glen Kelly Real Estate. And I appreciate you guys having me on the show.
You're welcome, Glenn. Be good, buddy.
Thanks, Glenn.
So,
is he off?
He is off.
Thanks,
and
Glenn.
I got to say, it is living my past of having all these wrestlers like Tito Santana, Bob Backlund, if Bob Backlund showed up, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Did you know any of those guys?
Yeah, I know. I saw that stuff when I was way back here, Bruno San Martino, all the way up through.
Yeah.
What?
Closer to the
I thought this was
no,
off
we are not off air. So go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know those guys?
Oh, sure. It was that stuff went back to Bruno San Martino, Gorilla Monsoon. I went to college with George Steele's nephew. He was
really?
Yeah, George Steele was a
professor,
right?
right?
He was a public school teacher in the Detroit suburbs. He had a master's degree in chemistry from Michigan State, and he said he was like the most mild guy you ever want to meet. But
he could be the character in Breaking Bad. Have you been watching that?
Nah.
Oh, Breaking Bad, awesome. I mean, well, yeah. And what's funny about the Breaking Bad is there's a meth. He's got a meth book that explains the chemistry of how to make meth. And when they're zipping through the pages, there was a sticker on the left side page, which of course, if you were a Ron Paul supporter, you would know immediately that's a Ron Paul sticker. So I ended up looking that up, and of course, Ron Paul sticker is in a meth lab book on the movie Breaking Bad. So it's kind of funny when I saw that. I assumed I was going nuts because I'm like, really, a Ron Paul sticker from 2008?
There you go. It's the secret subliminal message.
Yeah. So anyway, we are going to go to commercial break right now. So if you like to call in, please call us at 609-800-1003. This is the On Fire Show on HamiltonRadio.net. We'll be right back. Right back. This is the On Fire Show on HamiltonRadio.net.
Hamilton Radio.
Feeling down, depressed, just don't feel like getting out of the house anymore? Well, do it anyway! Sounds like it's time. Ticketstime.com, that is. Ticketstime.com has tickets for sports, concerts, and theater just waiting for you to buy. Did your favorite concert sell out? We have tickets at Ticketstime.com. Did you miss your favorite team's last game? Don't miss the next one. Log on to Ticketstime.com. Is there a play you've been dying to see but haven't had the time? Well, make the time at Ticketstime.com. Everyone needs some relaxation time, so remember to make some time at Ticketstime.com.
Nothing could be finer than to sell more cotton and peanuts to international markets like Cuba. But Cubans can't buy your products because our politicians won't let them sell their sugar here. In fact, Americans pay 5 times the world price on sugar. If you think that protective tariffs make no sense, then you just might be a libertarian. To find out, call 1-800-ELECT-US. and ask for a free information packet. The information's free. Your freedom is priceless.
NJLP.org is a libertarian party that's for liberty and freedom. To learn more about the New Jersey Libertarian Party and join the fight for liberty, please visit NJLP.org. At NJLP.org website, you can get updated news on what NJLP.org is doing, check for upcoming events near you, and learn how you can help NJLP.org. And again, that's NJLP.org. This ad is paid for by the New Jersey Libertarian Party, the party of principle.
Welcome back to the On Fire Show on HamiltonRadio.net.
If you want whole foods and more natural products while making your family healthier, visit 2285475.myforevergreen.org. That's 2285475.myforevergreen.org. Do it today.
Are you feeling sluggish by lunch, or is the lunch you had making you feel sluggish? Do you play sports and need an extra push during the game? Are you a college student and need to stay up late to do those reports? Well, why not try Rebound FX by Longevity? Nowadays, you not only need a sports drink to provide you with quick, sustained energy, but you also need a drink that will supply you with the essential nutrients that need to be replenished to support an overall healthy body. Unlike other sports drinks, Rebound FX is a high-energy drink that offers a balance of antioxidants, natural herbs, and important minerals, including Longevity's plant-derived minerals blend. Rebound FX is rich in nutrients and antioxidants such as vitamins A, C, and E. It also contains high doses of essential B vitamins. And don't forget the Rebound FX Sports Energy Collection. Make sure that you're always equipped with fuel for exercise, long days at work, or any other activity requiring sustained energy. Rebound FX comes in a variety of blends to best suit your needs. You can keep some Rebound FX stick packs in your gym bag or purse while on the go, and cans or liquid supplements stored in your fridge. Rebound FX will always be at the palm of your hands for a natural energy boost. And don't forget, Rebound FX is more than just a sports drink, it's absolute performance. So purchase your Rebound right now on HamiltonRadio.net and click on Longevity's banner. When you purchase a Rebound, don't forget to buy some for your family, your friends, your teammates, and so on. Remember, Rebound is for everyone.
Welcome back to the On Fire Show on HamiltonRadio.net. We're back. This is the On Fire Show on HamiltonRadio.net. We had Glen Kelly as our guest. We have our next guest who called in during the commercial break. I'm going to have Joe do a quick introduction. Joe?
This is a really special guest. I first met about 5 years ago when I was running for United States Congress and the Libertarian Party, and I had some interaction with him. He was running something called Certified Constitutional Candidate at that time. Since then, I've got to know him as one of the leading school choice educational activists in the state, and I think we're coming right off of School Choice Week, so it's a good time. I believe that the movement is picking up some real steam. So really pleased to have Israel Teitelbaum here with us. So Rabbi Teitelbaum, he is a rabbi. I'll let you know that much. He is, and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with school choice?
Well, I was sending my kids to yeshiva and had to pay all the tuition. I was wondering, why other kids are able to, why other families are able to send their kids to school, and I have to pay for those schools with my tax money, but then when it comes to my own kid, I got to pay all over again. So that's how I first, I didn't exactly get involved. That's when I started talking about it. But then back in 1993 in New Jersey, when Christy Whitman was running for governor, so one of the things she was talking about was school choice. And she was going to implement the school choice program. That was one of her issues. So that got me a little bit excited. Wow, there's something that could be done here. So I went to my friends and I said, hey, we got to get this woman elected. And she did get elected by a fraction of a percentage point. And she was governor actually for 7 years. But no bill ever developed. And in the interim, I kept working on it, got involved with Brett Schundler, who was a big school choice advocate. And the more I learned about the issue, the more I came to realize that this goes way, way beyond just fair distribution of educational funding. I realized that this whole system is upside down, and there's no accountability. The government is the one that controls education, and government is accountable to whom? To themselves. So there's really no accountability. Parents really have very little to say. They have to send their kids to the school, the local school, good, bad, or indifferent. Doesn't make a difference. So, and I realized that not only that, but by the fact that the government is controlling the school, it's not even government, it's not even elected officials. Ultimately, it's public employee union bosses that are doing it, and really not elected by the public. And they're running the system to the ground. And not only that, politically it becomes a real mess. The reason the country is in a mess that we're in is really based on the whole educational system that totally unaccountable to anyone.
Well, it's definitely the truth. With public education, you are forced to go to those schools, and if you choose not to, as Israel said, you have to pay twice.
Right, you were not forced to go. You were forced to pay for the school.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can go wherever you want and pay as much as you want.
Sure. But again, there's only a limit in everyone's pockets of how much money can be spent or taken from you, I should say, by the government. And I feel like the percentage is getting higher and higher each year. I feel like taxes in the theory of life is it'll never go down, but to me it's got to go down. There is a point when it's going to just bust us all, and government's going to not know what to do because the people that are making the money will not want to give it over to the takers.
Right. Now that we've laid out the problem, Israel, is what might be on the drawing board in terms of what you're doing to address this? Or is there any legislation in the pipeline or any bills that we should be aware of?
There's mainly two things. New Jersey actually has a bill, that the school choice bill, the first in the country, by the way, and but it doesn't have enough support. So what we have is a bill. It's called the New Jersey Parental Rights and Property Tax Reduction Act, because by bringing down the cost of education, there'll be a lot of savings. So also, part of the bill provides that the savings reduce the property taxes, which is primarily going for education. That bill in New Jersey is A1785. That's the Assembly 1785. It has 3 Assembly people co-sponsoring it. There are another few we've spoken to the last few days will be coming on. But the main thing really to get this thing moving is for people in New Jersey to call their assembly people. There's 40 districts, each one's got 2 assembly, and people have to get in touch with their own assembly people and say, listen, you got to get onto this bill.
because it's very important. It'll save taxes, it'll improve education by force of competition, and it's extremely important. And people got to realize, if they cannot get their assembly people to support this bill, it basically means they're not supporting the people. They're supporting the ruling class, is basically what it is. So this year in New Jersey, there's election for the whole assembly, all 80 seats, which is 40 districts, 2 from each district. We got 80 people running. So what we're looking to do actually in New Jersey is to find people in each district where they refuse to support the bill, where the incumbents refuse to support this bill. We would like to have people from both parties, Democrats, Republicans. The Democrat incumbents want to challenge them.
Israel,
the primary.
Israel, how about the Libertarian Party? I mean, the Libertarian Party is a growing party. It's from what I know, the Libertarian Party is getting members one after another these days. I was on the phone with the chairman, Patrick McKnight, who's one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. I mean, he's a musician, really down to earth, easy to talk to. There's
a school teacher. He was a school teacher.
Joe's member was active in the party, and actually, news for me is I am now a member of the party. I actually joined this week since, of course, I've known these guys for such a long time. I don't really feel like I should join any party. I believe in individualism first, but of course, their thing is about the message. I mean, Israel, the stuff you're talking about is about the message to the people that there's something wrong with this country, and Democrats and Republicans, I think, are not getting it right. I think they're sheeples, or they're wolf in the sheep's clothes. I mean, it doesn't matter what side you're on. I think you are definitely looking at a Libertarian Party that's growing, and people are more interested in it. So I hope it's more than just two sides to this coin, because I think the two sides can easily be spun to the way they like it, when in truth there's 500 different ways to skin a cat. And I think the libertarian idea is definitely one of the best ways to skin a cat, which is to take your freedom back from this government that is so overgrown, so much violating the rights of people, so much not caring for the rule of law and caring for the rule of man. I think it's just a time where Israel, like you said, you don't know what to do, or you're fearful of what to do, because I think some people feel the revolution's beginning. For me, I feel mine's a legal battle, because the law should supersede the legal stuff that's going on, because law supersedes anything, and that's a natural aspect. So anyway, Israel, if you want to continue talking about choice, go ahead. So.
Okay, so I was in the middle of telling you how we can do this. See, the problem with the parties is it's not going to come from parties. It's going to come from people. And basically, it's we the people that have to take control of the political system. And the only way to really do that is to replace the people that are there. So the next opportunity that we have to replace the people that are in Trenton is the primary. In fact, the primary is a much better way to go than the general, because the general election is basically fixed, as you know. It's gerrymandered the districts in favor. The Republicans and Democrats basically connive together to gerrymander the districts in favor of the incumbents. So it's very, very difficult to unseat the incumbent in the general election. So the way to do it is to challenge them in the primary. So in the primary, even if you're a libertarian, you could register still as a Republican or a Democrat. It doesn't compromise you, because the truth is that in many cases, the Democrats and the Republicans, they're really the same in many cases, not all.
Sure, and actually,
if you're a libertarian, you could challenge them in the primary. And what we want to do is bring together a bipartisan campaign in the primary, the coming primary. June 2nd will be the primary. Now, if we could bring together people candidates that are challenging all those that refuse to support school choice, we could make one campaign by way of talk radio, like we're doing right now, and Facebook and email, person to person. We don't have to spend any money, because the truth is, if you look at the elections, the recent elections, it's not the media that people are listening to. People already have given up on the media. Of course, there are about 50, 60, maybe even more than 60 people that vote out of habit, like a religion. They vote Democrat, Republican, no matter what.
Well, they call it in Israel. They call it voting the line, and of course, it's a common concept for most people. That's born, raised. The parents say to them every day, "You're a Democrat. You're a Democrat. You're a Democrat." You walk into the booth, and naturally, you'll just slide the finger straight down that first line called the Democratic line. So you can be a line voter, which most people are. And of course, in the strategy of politics, the most important thing is to try to get that line, because if you get the line, there's higher, like your chance of winning. What goes up probably tenfold, Israel? Or I mean, what's your thoughts on how much it increases if you get the line?
What we're trying to do is not so much the line. See, they cancel each other out. The Democrats and the Republicans will cancel each other out, those that vote out of habit. It's the activists in the middle that make the big difference. That's why we had nationally, 2014 and 2012, you had a historic election that broke records going back to 1930s, and this time it goes back to the 1920s. A tremendous change. What was it? It wasn't those people voting out of habit for Democrats or Republicans. They still voted the same. It was the activists in the middle that are very active now, because they see what's happening in the country, that are getting more involved, more knowledgeable, less believing in the media, more believing in each other and in the facts, and they're actually getting involved. And that's why we have an opportunity that we could really turn this country around. If we could make this happen in New Jersey in 2015, we could take the same strategy all across the country by uniting. There's 535 districts that we're running, and we could do the same thing. We could unite 535 candidates into one campaign, and you know, call them citizens candidates, constitutional candidates, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But just inform people that if you want to change this country, you vote for citizen candidates. You vote for people that actually represent we the people and not the ruling class. Right now, the ruling class is in charge, and it's coming out of the. If you look at just education alone, they take in billions of dollars just from the educational system. They have an army of 4.7 million voters, members of the school choice unions that are active. And that's tremendous power. Then they get to indoctrinate the kids as well. So basically, they're building up an enormous power, and that's why this country's out of control. The only way to change that is to move it back to we the people. And we're also working on the national. We also have a bill for D.C. because Congress is by the 10th Amendment restricted to not get involved in all the states. Education is a state issue. But they can pass school choice for D.C. So we actually started a nationwide call-in to Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, about a few weeks ago, spoke about this, and he proposed very strong term, school choice. So we have a proposal for D.C., and we're asking people to call Ted Cruz. And we have a number here. You could leave as an option there to leave your name and your city and your email address. And we could build a tremendously nation army of activists.
We have a Israel. We have a caller. Hold on one second, Israel. We have a caller. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Welcome to the OnFire show on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2.
Hey, who's turning down my radio?
Yeah, if you're calling in, please turn down your radios.
Yep.
Who's calling?
Chris Green.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm friends with Chicken Man and Steve.
Oh, what's up? You have a question for Israel?
Yeah, I'd like to ask him how the libertarian movement's going. We had this service guy running. I mean, he was a disaster in Virginia.
Say that again, Chris. Do you have something playing in the background, Chris?
start cutting it down. How about that? Good?
That's better. So, I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
Well, I wanted to ask Israel, we just had a guy named Sarvis run for governor, and he really spoiled it for King Cuccinelli, who would have been the closest thing we've ever had to a libertarian here in Virginia. And then he got into the Gillespie versus Mark Warner race, and I'm just wondering, you know, are the libertarians running in New Jersey pretty solid?
The question is about the libertarians in New Jersey?
Yeah, Chris, you asking about the libertarians in New Jersey?
Yeah, the ones that are running. The Sarvis guy literally supported Obamacare and Medicaid expansion, but yet he was, you know, the Virginia Libertarian Party let this guy run. I mean,
well, no, you're not going to find that in the New Jersey Libertarian Party. That we seriously vet their candidates. So that's not something you're going to see here. Do you have a question about school choice or education for our guest?
Well, as far as the school choice goes, I mean, is charter schools now available in New Jersey?
Yes.
Yeah.
There are charter schools in New Jersey. They have the school choice, an option that you can have your child. I think it's like 10% of a school's allowed to have kids go to another school by a school choice program.
Maybe. Israel, do you have any thoughts about the charter schools in our state and how that works?
Well, there are a limited number of charter schools in New Jersey, but there is absolutely no school choice program that gives parents an option of where to send their kids. Wherever there's a charter school, they try to get in the charter school, and there's limited space, you know, and they have to take a lottery sometimes. But what we're fighting for is really parental choice in education. Just like when you go buy something, you have a choice what you buy because you've got money in your hands. When you get the service, you have money in your hands to purchase that service. Parents should have the option to send the child to the school of their choice, whether it's be a charter school, a public school, a private school, a religious school. That should be a parental choice. That's what we're fighting for. We're not involved in any kind of schools or homeschooling or anything like that. We're involved in parental choice. And that the basic liberties, if you go with the Constitution, you have to be able to have choice. You have choice in everything else. Government doesn't tell you where to live, where to work, where you travel, where you shop. Government should not be coercing you to send your kid to a government school.
I can't agree more on that. So, hey, Chris, I heard you ran for delegate in Virginia. Is that correct?
No, I ran for the Board of Supervisors in my county.
And how'd you end up doing?
Well, it was a three-way race. I'd only lived here for 4 years, but I managed to beat, actually the chairman of the school board was in the race, and I fumbled him by like about 300 votes. So I came up 77 votes short of our liberal two-term incumbent, as I like to refer to the winner.
Well,
but one of the issues really was charter school. We had a charter school here, and the school system came out great guns against it. We're spending over $10,000 per child, and how that works here in Virginia is 60% of the money basically came from the locality, and 40% was fed and state money. And man, they fought the thing tooth and nail, and how they ended up really killing it was by saying, we're not going to give you a dime of the local money for that child. And, there would only have been $4,000 left, essentially, to run the charter school. So, if that shows you, how they're operating.
Right. Well, just the fact that you said, part of it was federal money, part of it came from state money, and the reality is there is no federal money, there is no state money, there's only taxpayer money. So somebody was still forced to pay for that charter school, whether they wanted to go there or not. And I think we're trying to, get the burden of education off of people's backs, who are not using the educational system, and two, putting those dollars back into the parents' hands to to spend the way that the way that they pick a car, or they pick a house, or they pick a washing machine or a TV.
Right, value for value. If they think there's a better school out there that for either a better price or they're fine with paying the higher price because they know the return will be better.
And you've got 3 or 4 kids. They may all want a different kind of need or different kind of school. They might have a science school, an art school, a music school, a special needs school.
Now here's a question, and especially a lot of retirees and seniors who already have their kids have graduated from middle school, high school, and so forth. Do you agree? This is to the caller and the listener. That seniors should still be paying taxes for school kids still going to school, even though their kids are not in school anymore.
Israel, can you answer that?
Is that the question for me? Well,
sure.
One or the other. Either it's the way Milton Friedman, who originally came up with that idea, said the reason that government is running schools is that it's needed to have a cohesive society. You have to have an educational system to ensure that everyone has an education. And if you accept that, then it's like any other tax. Everyone has to chip in, but then doesn't mean that government has to actually run the schools. This was Milton Friedman's idea. It could be the parents can get a voucher and send the kids to whatever school they feel is best for their kid. But obviously, if the society would decide that every parent has to fend for themselves, I don't see a problem with that. I just don't think it will happen because every society in the world basically has an educational system. It's recognized by people that without an educational system, you cannot have a cohesive society. So either way, I would be okay with that. But as long as we have it being run by government to assure that everyone has an education, parents should still have the right to send their kids to the school of their choice or whatever is best for those kids.
Thanks, Israel. And Chris, what do you think?
Well, like I said, percent of the money comes from the locality. So it's 25,000 citizens. That's about 3,000 students. So 1 out of 10 citizens is a child being educated. So some of them might say, well, it's 25, but 30% of our county, I think, is over age 60. So they're much more interested in paying for paid EMTs, which finally did happen in this county this year, because that's probably something more prevalent to them versus putting the kids in school. But in my county, a lot of those kids are already the grandchildren of these senior citizens. So that doesn't politically they see like they're actually educating their kids.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I appreciate you calling in. Of course, if anyone else wants to call in, please call in at 609-800-1003. That's 609-800-1003. This is the OnFire show on HamiltonRadio.net. And I think we'll be going to a commercial when? 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes. So, Israel, we're going to go to commercial in 2 minutes. We have to figure out how to drop the call. Oh, we got Israel there. You're there?
I'm here.
All right. It's the first time we have 2 lines, so we're all in a test run right now. So
it's only 2015, and we figured out how to hang up one phone and leave the other one going. This is.
Well, what's funny is I think
we're going public next week.
On the iPhone, the problem with the iPhone right now is if you join a conference call, you can't unmerge the call and hang up on one through the Verizon network. So I always have a hard time with conference calls to hang up because I'm going to end up hanging up on both callers. So Israel, you are back on. So we have 2 more minutes.
Yeah, going back to Washington D.C., Israel. I know that.
Okay,
go ahead.
Okay, so let me tell you about Washington. The thing with Washington is that Senator Ted Cruz back in January came up with a very, very strong statement about school choice, about the fact that he closed it with saying school choice is a civil rights issue of the 21st century. And he'd like to see school choice. So we have a bill before him, a proposed bill. It doesn't have a sponsor yet, but we're trying to get people to stand with him so that he has the courage, the backing to be able to sponsor such a bill. Because the moment he sponsors the bill, the left's going to come out with all their guns. So we put out a number to his office for people to leave a message and basically leave their name, their email address, their city, state, and so he knows that he has the country behind him. And that number, if people could take it down, is 202-224-5922. And what they are supporting then is the D.C. Civil Rights Act for Equal Educational Opportunity. That's the bill that would allow everyone in D.C., every parent in D.C., where the kids are not getting an education for $30,000 or close to it, it will allow them to get a voucher for half of that money and get themselves a decent education.
Right.
And it would really break through this issue throughout the country. The moment that bill gets sponsored, by the way, this country will be on wheels. World War III, a political war will break out, the war of the century, really, because the whole power structure is based on this control of education.
Right.
And nobody's challenged it. In the 60 years since Milton Friedman came up with this, nobody's challenged it. So this is the time to do it and basically take back our country.
Joe has a comment.
Great, Israel. Yeah, we're going to go to. If you could hold on for like a couple more minutes, we'll go to a commercial break, and I just want to talk about a little bit more about that idea of a civil right. What President Obama did in Washington when he first came in, and then also if you've been following the court cases out in California.
And if you're enjoying the show, of course, you could join the chat room at hamiltonradio.net. Click on the chat room and click on the link to OnFire. That'll bring you in as a guest. If you want to register, please register. Get your name on the users. Chicken Man from, of course, Millstone. Can't comprehend how property taxes are under $2,000 down in the South. Who pays for the education? But again, we're going to be right back. If you'd like to call in at 609-800-1003. This is the On Fire Show on HamiltonRadio.net. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. This is the On Fire Show on HamiltonRadio.net.
So much music in one place.
Station's getting better and better.
It always has exactly what I want to hear.
No wonder we're number one in Hamilton and New Jersey.
Meet Glen Kelly.
You can see there are hardwood floors throughout the home. Is that Glen Kelly? Hey, Glen!
Glen is broker of record of Glen Kelly Real Estate. Glen's experience and determination makes him a top-producing realtor year after year. Whether residential or commercial, buying or selling, there's no one like Glen Kelly.
I'm Glen Kelly, and I want to be your realtor.
Whether you're challenged with dry, brittle, flaky skin, oily skin, or your skin is simply dull and lifeless, I've got a great skincare line for you. It's called Tazati, T-A-Z-A-T-I. At Tazati.com, you can order products online that are so pure and natural, your skin will come alive with radiance and vitality. You see, Tazati organic skincare products use deep, hydrating moisturizers with natural elements like aloe vera, olive squalene, and shea butter, rich and proven to replenish your skin, yet never greasy. Also, if you suffer from adolescent or menopause acne, you can shop online for Tazati's gentle two-step cleanser, which heals acne by balancing your pH, ultimately putting a stop to skin eruptions for a clean, clear complexion. And the popular Vanishing Elite product can be applied to your face and neck to help combat dark spots for a smooth, even complexion. Place your order today and see what a few of the many satisfied Tazati customers are saying. Go to Tazati.com.
Products come with disclaimers to warn consumers of possible side effects. What if politicians had to do this?
So vote for your same old politician. Voting for the same politicians may lead to reduced paychecks, headaches, increased pollution, more paperwork, sweaty palms, higher crime, loss in privacy, more corporate and government power, teen drug addiction, and oily discharge.
For candidates with no harmful side effects, vote Libertarian.
Voting Libertarian may lead to more options, safety, and a peaceful society.
Learn more at lp.org or call 1-800-ELECT-US.
NJLP.org is a libertarian party that's for liberty and freedom. To learn more about the New Jersey Libertarian Party and join the fight for liberty, please visit NJLP.org. At NJLP.org website, you can get updated news on what NJLP.org is doing, check for upcoming events near you, and learn how you can help NJLP.org. And again, that's NJLP.org. This ad is paid for by the New Jersey Libertarian Party, the party of principle.
back to the OnFire Show on HamiltonRadio.net. We're back. This is the OnFire Show on HamiltonRadio.net, channel HR2. If you're liking the show, you can join the chat room at HamiltonRadio.net. Click on the chat room, then click on our OnFire banner. If you'd like to register so that your name shows up in the chat room, that'd be great. Ruben will approve you, and then you got to sign off and sign back in, and you'll show up as a user. Chicken Man is, of course, in the house. Welcome, Chicken Man. Love that you're joining the show. Steve from Virginia in the house, and, of course, a bunch of guests. We have Israel Teitelbaum on the call. He was our guest. We're talking about school choice. So, Israel?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions just to wrap this up. One was just a comment. I think we talk about the Washington, D.C., if you remember when President Obama came in, one of the first things he did was actually cancel the Washington, D.C. voucher program that had been in place for some time, and you can comment on that. But also, have you followed this? It came down last year. It was the Vergara decision out in California, where you were talking about a civil right, but there were people have sued to say that locking these kids into these horrible schools, inner city, with the worst teachers available, is really a violation of their ability to get a decent education, and they're looking to overturn somehow and bring school choice into California, and that seems to be backed by the left.
Oh, that's very good. It should be backed by the left, especially liberals. What liberal means is that you reach out to people, and give them the benefit. But at any rate, there's no. It's not really liberals, Democrats, Republicans that oppose school choice. The only ones that really are opposing it with enormous power is the ruling class. Those people that really comprise public employee unions. So this throws off millions of dollars, not millions, it's actually billions. And they have members. They got 4.7 million members. Each one kicks in $1,000, that's $4.7 billion. It gives you, money talks in America. That gives them control of the whole system, lock, stock, and barrel. Besides having the 4.7 million voters distributed in all 535 districts, and then they get also to indoctrinate the children and control them. So it's basically a power thing, a money thing. It's not a question of liberals, Democrats, Republicans. Every parent will support it. The problem is that people think it's not possible. Everyone you talk to will tell you, oh, this is politically impossible. So what people become is basically self-fulfilling prophets. They say it's impossible, so it becomes impossible. Once people realize it's not only possible, it's essential, it's critical. If you want to improve this country, you want to improve the education of children, you want to reduce crime, you want to reduce the cost of welfare and public services, the way to do it is by providing every child with a decent education at half of what they're spending now in public school. I just saw a statistic recently, a major study actually, that looked at the cost of public education between 1970 and 2010, 40 years, and it increased 327% in inflation-adjusted dollars. In other words, real dollars, 3.27% increase. So there's no question that you could provide an excellent education for half of what they're spending now. In D.C., for example, where we're trying to get this bill, there was a study done by the Cato Institute where they were reporting $17,000 something per child per year education. Well, the Cato Institute did a study and they found that it wasn't $17,000. It was $29,409 per child that it's costing for D.C. And they have a graduation rate that ranges between 65% and 70%. It's atrocious. And even those that are graduating are really not getting a proper education.
Yeah, well, but Israel, to me, proper education starts with teaching people about fiscal responsibility, teaching about how to live within your means, how to, of course, not have ever expanding costs and not question where costs are going, how it's being taken from the taxpayers' pockets. To me, it's the challenge of being a school board member is most people are prone to think, because they've been told this all their life, that taxes continue to go up, and that's just how it works, and not ever say that is not how it works. But we do need people out there talking about this. Israel, I appreciate you, of course, talking about school choice.
Joe? So keep up the good fight. Thanks for calling in, and we'd love to have you come back, from time to time to update us on what's going on out there in the hustings.
I just want to mention one thing, because I've overlooked this, and it's so opportunity that we're speaking now, and in less than 24 hours, there's a big event here in New Jersey. I don't know how many listeners you have in New Jersey, but we were supposed to have an event, the National School Choice Week, which was January. It was in January, late January, but we were snowed out by the big blizzard, so it's happening tomorrow night. And that's the New Jersey, the Policy Council is hosting it over here in Morristown. So if people could get in touch, I don't know, could we give a number or something?
Yeah, sure. Give us
give us the number.
Yeah, people could call me at my number 973-820-6121 and find out about this event. I'll give it again. And any questions people have about getting involved with school choice, I'd love to speak to people who want to get involved. My number again is 973-820-6121. And I thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thanks, Israel. I appreciate it, and we'd love to have you back on, all right?
Take care.
Take care.
Hey, keep in touch.
All right, that was Israel Teitelbaum, discussion on school choice, which I thought was great.
Yeah, what I think is great, too, is that I think that's what this show's about. There are people like him who's not a politician. He's got nothing personal at stake. I think, his kids are past, are now past school age. But he's out there fighting. It's people with real spirit who are trying to make a difference. I think that's like Adam Kokesh we had on last week.
Yeah.
People who are doing what they can in their own way for liberty, sometimes in broad strokes and sometimes on their one specific issue. But it's important that you take up the gauntlet.
And speaking of last week's show, of course, if you missed it,
it will be shortly. I know it's up on Hamilton Radio, and I know that some people are asking when it'll be on iTunes. I was working on it before I came in here. Sometime between tonight and Friday, it will be up. What happens is once it goes up I put it up on another podcasting service, which gives an RSS feed, and then iTunes evidently scans all of the feeds like once a day. And it's random when they pick it up. But within the next 2 days, it'll be up there.
Great. So, of course, please, we have a caller calling in. Welcome, caller. You're on the OnFire show on HamiltonRadio.net. Who is calling? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, who's calling in? Who is this guy?
What's going on?
Is this the big black man who usually sits in this seat?
He's coming to throw you out.
Are you coming back? Because I'm having fun here, but at the same time, I'm okay with sitting in the co-host seat. But this is a fun time. Of course, this is Neil Schloss, the actual host tonight. I'm the hostess with the mostest. We got Joe Ciano, and on the phone, we got the master of disaster, the big man, Darrell Brooks. What's up, Darrell?
Hey guys, I was I'm dealing with some things, some personal things I have to take care of, but I enjoy the show. It's pretty good.
No problem. I'm hoping we can do a rotation of the seat, Darrell, just in case you can't. Because of course, if you can't miss if you have to miss the show, of course, my heart was beating really hard before the show started. I was a little nervous, so I'm kind of relaxed now. So what did you think so far, Darrell?
Oh, awesome! You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. I really enjoyed Israel. I didn't get a chance. I think I listened to Kelly a little bit.
Yep.
I had to go for a ride, but it was a pretty good show.
Glen Kelly was definitely, there was a lot of pitching towards the real estate market, which is, of course, that's his life, and I appreciate that he wants to do that. But, of course, most importantly, he is doing events for charity and bringing some amazing people to the shore. Hopefully the shore this year is going to be hopping and bopping with some fun stuff and bringing the economy back there. Of course, Jersey, I'd love to see Jersey grow and be more successful. and of course not create laws, not to create regulations, rules, ordinances, codes that say we're going to keep taking money from your pocket. Of course, they should believe in the rule of law, which means leave us the hell alone. And of course, if they leave us alone, of course, I think the economy will prosper naturally through the free market. And like I say, Glen Kelly has energy beyond control. The conspiracy man, what was it? Conspiracy Bob joining in on it seemed fun. Oh, he really?
Yeah, that's why we want him.
Really? I got people calling to 101.5. Oh, I saw Dennis and Judy this weekend.
There you go.
I did. I saw him at Millstone.
He's on your show.
I saw him at Millstone. Him and Steve Trevelise. They did a great. Daryl, of course, his phone's turned off now. So call back, Daryl. But again, going to see Dennis and Judy was great. I sat in the audience. They did a great show. I love them to death. I think they are probably some of my idols when it comes to talk radio. I mean, it's one that they make people think, and I think of course it was Dennis can always make a person think about what they're doing because he talks the libertarian philosophy, which I love.
No, it's a good thing. They have a good show. And so many of these guys, you watch some of these guys like Fox.
Yeah, we got a caller.
They beat down their guests,
Caller, who's calling into the OnFire show on HamiltonRadio.net?
Steve, Virginia.
Steve, what's up, Steve? Now, Steve, I know through a friend. Steve is a friend of course, the Chicken Man. So, Steve, welcome to the show.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
I try not to admit the Chicken Man thing too much if I can help it. But I'm standing in my kitchen right now looking at a John Galt frame picture cell. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's our pleasure, man. I'm glad you listened to the January 5th show, which was a discussion on Atlas Shrugged, the movie. We had a great guest, Uncle Jeff. Again, you can listen to that playback on where again? Where are the playbacks?
Oh, we have the iTunes. You can listen to the playback on. I'll go to look for OnFire Radio Show on iTunes, on Stitcher, on what do we call that? YouTube, Podomatic. So those are the and also on Blogspot. So we've got it anywhere. Plus, it's also up here on Hamilton Radio on the on demand on HamiltonRadio.net.
And of course, if you're listening to the show and you feel like you'd be a great guest, have an interesting topic to discuss, please let us know. We love to have people that are listeners be our guests because we know you guys have a lot to say. And sometimes it takes a lot to get on a radio show or speak in public. But to us, this is a conversation. So, Steve, welcome to the show. So, any comments, questions, Steve?
No, actually, Chris, who called in earlier, is a friend of mine. He's a fellow co-worker down here. He got me into the Tea Party. In fact, he headed up the Tea Party of Lexington, Virginia for a good period there. And it's just nice to have a group of people who, I mean, we see what's going on with the Republicans. We see what's going on with the Democrats. We're leaning toward the Republicans, but you know what? They're not just there anymore. They've forgotten the people. The people are getting out there and reminding the delegates and the local guys that, hey, listen, we're still part of this. We're on your side, but you guys need an adjustment.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I love your Don't Tread on Me flag that you bought right after, what was it, the John Galt show, right? See?
Oh, exactly. I went out and I had an old tattered one out there that I actually put down because it looked a little poor. After that show, the next day at work, right after work, I went and bought another one. I was putting it up, and I live right along 33, which runs through the Shenandoah Valley here, and you can't believe how many people are blowing horns as I was doing it. I hear horns all night long.
Yeah, no, that's great. I have it hanging in my office, of course. I have the IRS agents come into my office and see that my Don't Tread on Me flag. I have, of course, Ron Paul, actually a picture of me with Rand Paul and Peter Schiff on my desk. So, I mean, I've been lucky. I mean, I've got involved with the Ron Paul campaign and, of course, met some great people. Still meeting some great people. Of course, the Chicken Man has introduced you, Steve, to this show, and I hope you're enjoying the show. I hope you've enjoyed the older shows.
Very good. I appreciate appreciate you guys. Good show. Very good.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling in.
Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, and if you want to call in, please call in at 609-800-1003. I think we have, 10 more minutes left with the show? We got 10 more minutes left. So, of course, we'd love to hear your comments, your questions. If you like us, of course, like us on Facebook. Join the chat room. The chat room is definitely a great conversation going on tonight. Different conversations at the same time. Questions for the guests that are calling in.
All right, and follow us on Twitter, too. We've got a Twitter handle, OnFire Radio Show, so take a look at that as well.
Yeah. Anything else, Steve?
Nope. Very good, guys. Appreciate it, and I look forward to it every week.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, Steve. Enjoy your night, buddy.
It's funny, we're talking about, and like the community, when you put something up, he says people, they love his, it's like, I remember, back during the last Ron Paul run, whenever we were driving, I was driving 60 miles to work, on the highs, and people would see each other with like the Ron Paul bumper sticker on their car. They would like speed up to pass you and give you the thumbs up, just to let you know.
On my RV that I drove, I had the tire on the back, I had the tire cover, and I had 3 Ron Paul stickers. That, of course, it was like a brotherhood and sisterhood that you knew what was going on, and you were awakened to the sleeping giant that it's your life to take back. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's no one else's. As much as that fear of trying to take your life back can be so overwhelming, I think most importantly is stand up for yourself. If someone else asks you questions, again, the questions I like to ask is, do you have rights over me, or do I have rights over you? And if they say no and no, then the question becomes, how does these government agencies have rights over any of us? Because they were creations from us. They weren't our creator. We created them. And, of course, under Yickwo versus Hopkins, a Supreme Court case in the 1800s, sovereignty itself always remains with the people, by whom and for whom these laws sovereignty always remains with the people because we're the authors and source of the subject. So stand up for your rights. I say it all the time. It is a challenge because, of course, the fear of how you get reprimanded, yelled at, saying you're wrong, you are not doing what, quote, the law is, when I always say the law is above all the rules, regulations, statutes, ordinances, codes, and whatever else name they want to put on it. Those are different names than actually what law is. So, like I say, I hope you're enjoying the show. If you want to call in at 609-800-1003. And
do we have any guest plan coming up soon?
I'm trying to get Jordan Page. Jordan Page
he
was supposed to be on the January 27th show. I think the show got canceled because of the weather.
The snow show.
So I'm going to try to get him back on. He's a great musician that was a big Ron Paul supporter. Has actually his own show called Page Against the Machine. I got interviewed by him a few weeks back, and, of course, as a payback, jokingly, of course, I asked him to be on our show. He is a great guy. There's also other people I've met through the campaign that I have to reach out to. Again, we talk about politics, but, of course, I don't feel I talk about politics. I talk about freedom. I talk about individuality. And government is not part of my life anymore.
Right. There's a big difference. This is sort of a public policy kind of show because it talks about what goes on in the sphere around us. But politics is really about the political means of acquiring the things of life is the means of using force and coercion. And we're not about politics here. This is about a freedom and a liberty show. We're trying to free ourselves from the politics.
Right. It's about John Galt. Be your own mind, and if someone else is trying to take your mind away from you because they think they can control it, say no. It's not their right to take your mind away. Tony Piscotti, welcome to the show. On the chat room, please, if you like this, join the chat room, ask questions, join the conversation. Call in at 609-800-1003. We want to, of course, thank our sponsors, the Libertarian Party.
Yeah, New Jersey Libertarian Party.
New Jersey, NJLP.org, right?
Right, and we've got a convention coming up at the end of March. I believe that's March 20th.
March 20th, the convention is in Hightstown.
Beautiful Hightstown, New Jersey, right off of Exit 8. You cannot get lost going to the Tavern on the Lake.
Correct. If you come off the Turnpike at Exit 8, you head west on 33, get to the end, make a left, and the bar is on your left-hand side.
It's exactly there. So come out there. There's going to be a great crew of speakers. I'm hoping to get some of those speakers come on in the next month or so to give you a heads up as to what is on there. We also have coming up on...
And just sorry, of course I'm watching the chat room as you speak, and Tony says you have no choice. Everyone has a choice in life. I mean, you have to say no more, no mas. Whatever language you speak, you say it in that way, and you say, government, please leave me alone. Mm-hmm. You have no rights over me.
Right. So. And we do have a guest coming up.
We have a caller. Hold on. Oh. Tony. I think this is Tony calling in.
You got me.
Hey, Tony. How you doing? Welcome to
okay. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. Welcome to the OnFire show on HamiltonRadio.net, channel HR2. How can we help you, Tony?
You just help me by keep broadcasting.
I
love it. I love the freedom. I like to be able to hear different views, and this is great. This is freedom at its best.
Tony, it puts a smile on my face to hear you say that. I mean, I took over the realm tonight. I am the hostess with the mostess. I am Neil Schloss. Of course, I am just a co-host at this moment. I'm on tryout tonight.
He is
in the hot seat. So.
He has conquered the freedom seat. Now he is the tyrant of freedom.
I take control. I take control of the mic now. And just kidding, Tony. Any comments you have, Tony? Besides that, or questions?
Yeah, I just the reason why I'm listening tonight is because Israel. He sent out an email and invited a bunch of us to join to listen. And I didn't even know this radio station existed until his email and tonight.
Well, word of mouth is huge. I mean, my business itself grew over 22 years by word of mouth, just because I always feel like I want to do the best for my client, look out for them, explain it so that they know all their options. Hopefully this show grows just like that. So please spread the word. Tell your friends to listen in to the shows that have already aired, which, like I say, can be heard on the on-demand button on our website through HamiltonRadio.net. OnFireNN.com is the website for the news.
Yep.
And I appreciate it, Tony. I'm glad Israel sent you this way, and hopefully it's a lifetime listening, and that you enjoy every moment of the show.
Yeah, I do want to thank Israel. I spoke with him about that. I said, you're going to be on the radio. You're going to have a platform. Well, we're going to promote this on our media. You promote this on your media, and I encourage all guests to do that who call in. If you want to be heard, we want you to be heard. We want to be heard is to bring your people to us, and we'll bring our people to you. And together we might win this thing someday.
And I just want to say to all.
Sounds great. And I think Israel's on a hot topic right now. That even the Congress is talking about it. The Senate, they're having committee meetings about school choice. And Tim Scott, the conservative senator from South Carolina, he's leading the effort. And, I spoke in front of my town council meeting the other night talking about school choice and, how our public education system has just dumbed down America, and we're not getting quality education. And now with this Common Core coming in and the PARCC testing, they're just, the federal government is just, mandating all this curriculum.
Well, the fingers are taking control, Tony. The fingers of federal government are trying to take the powers away from the states, and at the same time taking away the rights of the people, the power away from the people.
Yeah.
So.
And how do they do it? They force everybody into these public education centers and indoctrinate them and teach them not to critically think. And it's a shame. It's a shame. We're losing our generation. We're losing our freedoms and our liberty. And, people don't know anything about our Declaration of Independence. You know how the Declaration is written in cursive writing, right? And they stopped teaching cursive writing in public schools. Why? Because they don't want people to read the founding documents.
Yeah, I mean, it's a debate. It's funny because, of course, it comes down to with when it comes to law, I mean, with the digital era that we live in, you can forge, you can make up any document you want, put it out there and say it's real. So the Declaration of Independence, handwritten, of course, it can't be done on a computer screen. So
exactly, and I was going to say, just because hey Tony, how you doing? I'm Ruben. I'm the producer here.
Hello.
And I'm probably one of the last generation to actually learn scripted writing in elementary school because I went to Catholic school. And I was actually surprised when they stopped a lot of scripted writing, or as they call it, cursive writing. I think it was like, what's the next step? They're going to just tell you not to spell anymore in the schools.
Yeah, well,
but,
pretty much.
Yeah.
You look at Common Core,
right?
And they concentrate on math and English, and what about everything else?
Exactly.
And the way that they're teaching the math is crazy. I don't know if you've seen any of it. But
I've seen some of it. It's weird.
It's very odd.
Very, very odd. I just want to say also, whatever the schools are not teaching, parents out there and anyone who's listening to this radio show tonight here on OnFire show, you don't have to depend on the schools to teach your kids. You are the parent. You are the teacher.
Yeah, no, I'm a wrestling coach, so I teach my kids that are on the mat about freedom, defending themselves. I mean, all the principles that the natural law teaches you, how to speak up for yourself, think for yourself, write for yourself, hang out with the people that you enjoy and make you better, and, of course, question the government whenever you can. I mean, those 5 principles are the First Amendment. I mean, that's the rights given to you, not by the government, but these are rights given to you naturally by just whoever your creator is, or if it's just nature.
Amen. And I also,
those rights come from God to us, and the reason why we have our Constitution is to protect those rights that God has given us. And one of those rights are the right to defend ourselves, and that's why we have the Second Amendment. And the Second Amendment gives the right to bear arms. And you see the big push to take away the guns from the law-abiding citizen. And the problem is that once you take away all the guns and you eliminate that Second Amendment, the rest of the amendments will fall like dominoes.
Yeah, but I mean, and I should say, Tony, jokingly, like my little 8-year-old son talking about the right to bear arms. I mean, he jokingly said to me, "Dad, what would you do if you had no arms?"
Exactly.
But he was literal. I mean, he's like, in truth, it's not the gun in your hand that's going to make you survive. It's basically your physical self. I mean, when they talk about arms, I think they really mean your fists to start with, and then you work up the amount of counter defense they're using. I mean, if the government's using a machine gun, I'd prefer to have a machine gun in my hand. If they have a tank, I'd prefer to have a tank as well. I mean, it's even field for everyone. That's what life's about.
And I got
it takes a critical thinking to figure that out, because the average person is not really thinking, well, you get rid of the guns and you'll get rid of all the violence and the gun crime. No, that's not what happens. What happens is the law-abiding citizen loses their gun, but the criminal keeps their gun. And that means only the criminals and the police will have guns. And that makes it dangerous for everybody.
Yeah, and I appreciate. Sorry to cut you off, Tony, but we are running towards the end of our show. So, if you want to make one last comment, then we'll move on to finishing up the show. So.
Yeah, okay. Let me just make this one comment about parental rights, because the government is pushing to take over the right of the parent. So the government will have the right to bring that child up the way they think is right, and that's a very, very dangerous precedent. And I think that's what Israel is fighting against, and that's what's going on all over the country. People are speaking out about having school choice and having parental rights. Because we lose our rights over our children, then the government will just take over, and we'll lose it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see that. Thank you very much for calling in, Tony. Again, please spread the word, HamiltonRadio.net. They have a great 3 channels. First channel is a great rock and roll station. When I say rock and roll, it's more of a request line, so you can request country music. You can. I don't know if someone's ever requested classical music or jazz or funk, but
we can do it.
They are willing to play it if it's requested.
Let me also say something too.
And this is Gino. This is one of the owners of Hamilton Radio.
I'm the pro one.
Yeah, and on HR2 is just a talk radio during some nights. You see the schedule.
It's talking music and mix.
Talking music. So please spread the word on that, Tony, and of course tell your friends to check out the old archive shows, which can be found, like I said, on the OnFire website through HamiltonRadio.net, the on-demand button. You have it in iTunes.
You got iTunes, YouTube, Skitcher, everywhere. Just start Googling us, and we'll be wherever you want to be.
And I just want to.
That sounds great. Now, what about that news program you're talking about? Is that on there too?
The OnFire News Network is a website that has just good articles that Daryl is in charge of, so you can see the news from his angle. There are some very good articles on there.
Yeah, it's OnFire. I think it's OnFireNewsNetwork.
OnFireNN.com.
Yeah. So take a look at that, and we're always trying. We're trying to push out the message of liberty and trying to get people to think through whatever channel we can. We've even put on a few events down in Trenton, and we're looking to do more.
And thanks again, Tony.
And Tony.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
So tell Tony through the radio. He'll be listening to the show now, back on the show.
Back on the show. I just want to let everybody know, if you enjoyed today's show, again, please go to listener response on the front page of HamiltonRadio.net and leave your comment about the OnFire show and what you'd like to hear on the OnFire show. And also spread the word, again, like Mr. Schloss, or as Darryl called you, Slush.
Yeah, butchering him by last name. So
I know, right? As informed you. And please spread the word. If you're listening out, tell your friends. You can come here to HamiltonRadio.net on the OnFire show. You have the freedom of speech. Just keep it clean. And speak your mind, how you feel the government is treating you, your community, and America, and what should be changed. Because you do have a voice, and Hamilton Radio is lending you that voice through the OnFire show.
Joe, you got any last comment?
Yeah, and the last thing I'd like to say is this, is that if you have a small business out there, or a large business for that matter, and you want to support good programming, you want to support liberty, just reach out to us at the OnFire News Network. That's, as you just spell it out, OnFire News Network at gmail.com. And advertising rates are very reasonable. And the reason we're doing this, out of passion and out of love for liberty. And if you want to support that and support your business, we really appreciate it. And if you want to give us just a donation and a shout out, we'll take that too.
Yeah, we want to thank, of course, Glen Kelly from Glen Kelly. What is www.glenkelly.com. He is running a great event on June 13th, 2015.